This video is only one part of an in-depth review, so check out the rest at thegoodride.com. Thanks for watching.
This is The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and I'm deeply committed to an open relationship with snowboard gear. These are the Driftboard Oxygens, and they're new come late last year. I finally got some time on these, did some extensive testing with them, compared them against the carbon drift boards, compared them against split boards, and tested them in a wide variety of conditions, everything from some soft groomers to some pretty deep powder, and mainly rode them uphill before the lifts. And I love drifting before the lifts. And these little drift boards have changed the way I see inbound resort riding, and some of the best powder turns I've had were because of these little guys right here. And the last 3 years have been exceptional because of that. These little things have skins on the bottom. If you didn't have a snowboard on your back, you'd look like you're going backcountry snowboarding. It's a little weird, but they're really light. They fit on your back really well and never really bother you if you've got the right stuff in your backpack. And they're very easy uphill. They blow doors over snowshoes. There's just not even a comparison. Snowshoes are like 10 times harder. With these, you expend a lot less energy, and it's actually easier up than split boarding. Well, there are some aspects like edge hold and side hilling that aren't that great with these compared to split boards. They do a lot of amazing things, and they're great at this price point of $400 at the time I'm doing this review. For those that want to get some uphill travel, maybe just have to do some slack country stuff because they can't get a reservation at their resort due to COVID, like sometimes happens to me, or they're just exploring some slack country stuff in some safe areas where you're not putting yourself at risk. So let's get into some of the negatives about these before we get into all the positives. Sometimes it can suck having a snowboard on your back when the wind is blowing really hard. It feels like sometimes you have a sail on there, and that can be a little tough. There's no edges, so if you're somebody who's really just plans to get out there in all conditions, I use these mainly for powder. That's when I want a drift board. So I've never had a problem without edges, but if you have to get up through hard snow or you plan to use these a lot, yeah, maybe a split board's better or something with edges. And the last thing that I don't really like, I like and don't like, is these bindings. These things have no real ankle support, no real side hilling support, and these are kind of hard to get on and off. But you can put these on and go down with your solid bindings, and that's where we're starting to talk about some of the advantages of these. Taking it from there, having your own solid board bindings on there, those are really a next level above split board bindings. So having these and being able to go down on your regular bindings on a solid board is such a wonderful feeling. Next up, there are so many amazing solids that excel in powder and that are fun to ride off-piste that don't come in split, and it's really fun having a way to take those in places that you can't normally get them to without a lot of exertion. Then you have the price. These are $399, these are $470. This is a lot of money. You're getting well up to $1,200 to $1,500 for a good split board and binding setup. So you're saving a ton of money going with these first and seeing if you like it. And what I've found is these two can work together. Sometimes it's fun to go out on a split board when you need edges and you want to go on long tours, but for short inbound resort travel, I prefer these over that. These are just so light. These, as they come out of the box that I got, are 2.8 pounds. Yours might be a little different weight because wood can vary from driftboard to driftboard, just like with snowboards. The construction process isn't guaranteed as much like the carbon fiber ones. But these new ones are only 2.6 pounds. So you're not really dealing with too much weight. Compare that to my split board there, it's 6.8 pounds per foot versus 2.8. And that actually is a lot. They say that 1 pound of weight on your foot is equal to 6 pounds of weight on your back. So that makes these drift boards really light. And when I switched out from my drift boards to my Splitboard right there, I felt like I had 2 hobbits on my feet, just one hanging on to each leg when I was going up. There is a massive difference. I really felt it on my feet, where I don't feel almost any difference. I can't tell the difference between these and these. There is a massive difference between split boards. So the up is so much easier. Yeah, they don't have the glide. They're not great in long flats. You can get so much more speed and cover so much more distance with these. And I do like the camber underfoot. There's just a little more spring in each slide. But these are so light and so easy uphill. I expend a lot less energy, even with the snowboard on my back, than I do with split boards. So I love that. And these things grip pretty well going up. I find that split boards grip a little bit better, but it's not a deal breaker. And with a little time and a little practice, a little work on your form, learning how to slide properly, where to press the weight down in when you're climbing up a hill that might be a little too high for what these are designed for, that's great. Another thing I love doing is putting split board bindings on there. I found that the Union Expeditions are the best, and you can see my old carbons here, how they're set up. You just unscrew this, you screw in the Union setup there, and you put the Union bindings on. With my Union Expeditions on the carbons, the weight is 3.6 pounds. With these, it's 3.8, and it's still massively less than the split board at 6.8 pounds. So I do feel a little difference there, but I love the side hilling so much that sometimes I do that. However, the down isn't as much fun when I have my regular solid bindings on there. So this has 2 risers and they're great. Sometimes they don't come in perfectly, but all you have to do is unscrew this, flip them around the other way, and then they'll sit in here perfectly. And I love this new plastic base plate. It just feels a little less than these, and you can hear the difference. Oh no, I put a rubber thing on here, but they usually just clank, and they're really like, there's just a little less shock that goes up into your foot when you're traveling with these versus those, and I didn't even feel the need to put a rubber pad on here like I do with those. One thing that's kind of cool, the skins are replaceable, and we did change out the skins with Peter last year on the carbons. They're pretty easy to take off and put on, and it's nice. If you have some old drift boards and you want the new skins, don't worry about it. It's not that hard to do. Even in waist deep powder, they weren't easy, but nothing is easy in waist deep powder. And they did a really good job. They stayed on top of some moderately thick snow and hung in there. So these will do the same. One other slight advantage with the woods over the carbons is this is not a black top sheet. And for some that go out in warmer weather, I usually go in just powder, but occasionally I've gotten up in some sunny, wet stuff in spring, and the snow does cake a little more on here. It's never been a real big deal for me, but for you it could be. And these just collect, they heat up less and collect less snow on the top. So that could be a thing. But overall, these are just such good little approach skis for people that want to save money and don't necessarily need a split board and want to ride what they have in their quiver in places they never could before.
So here we are on a warm winter's night. They're keeping COVID away, one
Cheers.
drink every day. And this is the Drift Oxygen, and Nick is just going to give his quick take because Nick has gone overboard. So when I got him a pair of drifts after he tested them once, and he disappeared all summer. I think he put out like 150 days on these damn things.
He almost killed me.
The last 2 years. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
be careful out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have tested these drifts to the max. I've used the carbon ones, and BC will agree with me that we both like this or prefer this actually more than the carbon
Agreed.
boards. Transitioning is super frustrating with a split board. I love being able to not have a snowboard on my back because that thing's a sail. When it's windy, it sucks. However, when you want to transition, you're just popping that thing on your backpack, just put your board on, you're ready to go. Here, you don't want to get snow on your skins. You gotta line it up perfectly. I mean, it's a whole thing, especially when it's windy, it's snowing. These, it's just such a simple thing to do, and you don't even feel them on your back. Splitboarding is still in its infancy. They're still trying to figure it out, and I think there's still some technology that still needs to be done with split boards. But this is a great solution. You know, I'm not gonna stop drifting because I have a split board. So.
All our reviews are a best effort, objective opinion from an average rider's perspective. There's no brand oversight, and we're free to say whatever we want. We send back everything unless it's a favorite, then we ask to keep those or straight up buy them. Now, if you need advice, fill out the eHarmony profile in the Contact Us section of the site. It's the only way I can help you properly. If you want to support us, and if what we reviewed appeals to you, it helps if you buy through our links. So, thanks for watching.